What's up, Raider Nation? It's the beautiful Black Hole Steph. Welcome to another edition of RaiderFan Radio Classics. In this classic, we're going to take you all the way back to 2009. It includes and co-stars the world-famous legendary Shieldhead. And in this particular episode, we're talking about Jon Gruden coming back. So fast forward to 2021, the future is now, and it's happening. So please be sure to stay tuned, like, subscribe, share us, and please comment below. We love your comments. We'll make sure we read them live on the next show. Stay tuned for more classics here at RaiderFanRadio.Vegas and RaiderFan Radio YouTube. Peace.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold, and the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider.
RaiderFan Radio TV with you. Another episode. It is Raider Rob along with the beautiful Black Hole Steph and of course Shieldhead, man. The original Shieldhead with you. And it is week 5 of the National Football League. And for the Oakland Raiders, it is week bleak. And it's getting bleaker. Good to be with you all. Make sure you check us out on MySpace.com, RaiderFan Radio, and also log on to RaiderFanRadio.com for all of the updated information. Our great photo gallery with Steve Lira. And just getting started here. And what a Sunday it was. Debacle is the word that Shieldhead has been using since we got here to the studio this evening. A debacle in New York. Jimmy Hoffa is buried there allegedly at Giant Stadium, and so were the Raiders on Sunday.
I thought I saw him call a play.
He was the lucky one then if he was buried.
Yeah, he was buried. You didn't get to see the game. Oh, he's lucky, all right.
Okay.
Once again, another atrocious performance by the Oakland Raiders. I do, though, before we even go any deeper into the analysis of what was worse, Shane Lechler is a great punter.
MVP! That damn
Shane, darling Shane.
Thank God for that leg.
It will be like a musical tonight. We have a great rendition of a great song later on in the show for you from our original Shieldhead. But Shane Lechler, you know, I was telling Shieldhead before the show, years ago when we were going through a little spurt of losing after the Super Bowl appearance in 04, because we were scoring so few points. I got to paying attention to Shane Lechler, and it's really where I really discovered how great of a punter he is. And when you hear coaches say all facets of the game, he is definitely the premier punter in the National Football League. And that's what you get to, you know, notice
he's all
when your team's getting
right
blown out 44-7 and he's on the field. He's all facets of the game, and he is a great punter. I mean, the hang time he gets, the trajectory of his punts, how strong his leg is. I'd hate to have him kick me in the ass because, you know, Shane is just the premier. And he puts
it where it needs to be. He's so strategic, and he's just so calculating. And he's probably one of the few calculating elements that we have other than Janikowski on our team right now.
How come no one does a Ray Guy punts anymore? How come no one aims for the sidelines? Remember I used to do that?
Yeah.
No one does that. They always try to pooch kick it all the time now. How come no one ever, is it against the rules now?
No, I don't think it's against the rule. I just think the whole advent of the coffin corner thing. And then, you know, you also have, as they said, the game has changed so much. Special teams defensively have gotten better. You do have faster guys. Everyone's gotten away offensively from returning kicks with the wedge from the 1940 Chicago Bears and things of that nature. I mean, it's kind of a freelance thing now, you know, and
another reason why Ray Guy should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, really.
It's them tinkering with the game again. The same old NFL coming up with a whole new concept. I wonder if this season we can do kicking like this or punting like this. And let's phase out these older guys and bring in this newer style.
But Shane, when you see a Shane Lechler, you do see that intangible you're talking about of the special teams game and how it is an important thing strategically when it comes to field position and things of that nature. And with Shane, you do still see that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
do.
saying? You still see him angling for certain positions and how strategic, like you just said, that he does kick. He's one of the few that still does it. So you still have them. But I mean, you go back to the Reggie Robies and the Gary Colemans, Greg Coleman, up in Minnesota.
I was thinking, what
are you talking about, Rob? What are you talking about? You know, those were some of your great punters.
Little half pint.
In the NFL. And Ray Guy was always, you know, the premier. Of course, 76 All-Star game, Pro Bowl, in New Orleans. He hit the top of the New Orleans Superdome, the scoreboard
there.
And so we're looking forward, I guess,
Lechler.
Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, Lechler kicking the scoreboard in Dallas, huh?
You think he'll hit it?
Yeah, hit it.
What odds?
I'm giving
What odds you
man.
giving? Come on.
The way we're playing
what odds?
Okay. We're playing
We
right
don't play
now.
the
I
odds.
say that I lose, man. I can't bet no
He's going
money.
to have many opportunities.
He's gonna have. Oh yes, he will.
I'll bet you a turkey leg.
There you go.
He'll go
There
as
you
far
go.
as he needs to go.
Hey, and if you're going to Dallas, too, for that Thanksgiving game, make sure you get with us at MySpace, Fan Radio, and also hit us at RaiderFanRadio.com. We'd love to know what fans are coming down there. A lot of fans are going to be going to Dallas, and Shieldhead has made it very clear that he's
I'll
not
be
gonna
at
go.
Ricky's.
But we'd like to, hook up with some of you. RaiderFan Radio TV is going, and we're going to be there in Dallas for 3 days, just hanging out around the Metroplex and, feeling our way around Jerry Jones's strip club. Looking forward to that. Want to see exactly how that goes down because
You really got a
It
strip
is,
club?
yes.
yes, it's a strip club
Have
in
you
there.
watched
Have you
the
not
games
seen
there?
the game? They got blue lights, laser lights when the players walk out. There's smoke machines. They have a friggin' bar where you're standing like this and the players are going by you like this, Shieldhead.
Nice.
As close as you are.
And
I might not be at Ricky's.
Michael Irvin's coke dealer would have been in that bar back in the day. Okay, straight up. He'd have been standing right there. Here, Mike, take that out on the field with you. I mean, the Cowboys got priors. Thomas Henderson snorted coke at Super Bowl 13 on the sideline. It's in his book, Out of Control. One of the greatest football books ever. But yeah, we're going, man.
That's tight.
You need to come on down.
You know what? If I didn't have a kid on the
When
way.
did they get a load of you?
When does the kid do?
Babies due February 4th.
Raider
Right.
babies. Raider
My first
babies.
boy.
Raider baby.
Yes.
Pass the shield down so I can get this thing off my
Don't
fucking
worry,
leg.
Nation. He's going to raise him Raider. You ain't even got to worry about that. Anyway, let's get back to Sunday. And more importantly, our coach.
No.
Tom Cable. Well, we have to because it is Raider Fan Radio. We got a lot more coming for you in the second half hour of the show. But, seriously, Tom Cable has turned out not to be what many hoped that he would be.
Uh-oh, are you saying
Maybe
that?
it's, huh?
Wow.
Got to lift my eye
I mean, he's
back
not.
to this.
He's not. Again, it's like Kiffin. There's no imagination. It's like Turner. There's no discipline. No one's listening to you.
That's real.
And what you have
Nothing's changed.
with him is that you have this cloud hanging over him where he will probably end up being the first NFL coach to do a perp walk. And how apropos they may arrest him right after the Eagle game on
That'd be
Sunday.
tight. I still think it's tight.
To add insult to serious injury. But
No, but he was supposed to get interviewed by Roger Goodell.
didn't happen.
And it
He was
didn't
in New
happen.
York 40 hours. They didn't interview him. They didn't call over there to 8th Avenue to talk to him. Park Avenue to talk to him. So, it's kind of like, it's just hanging there in the balance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Goodell says he's waiting to hear from the Napa officials. The Napa's DA's office has the case. Hansen came out over the weekend, and it was posted on the internet. Thank you. But finally, the internet is starting to get some mainstream love around here for
We're
their
living in
reporting.
your
I'm
internet.
going to talk about something on that a little later on, too. But what you have now is this limbo that Cable is in, where he could either be fired probably after next week's game if we don't win against Philly at home, all right? Or you have a situation with Cable
Tragedy.
where he could be arrested and have to be bailed out, prosecuted, and Lord
Gets
knows.
fired. Who's coaching then? Oh, we're screwed. No one wants to coach us no more.
No, we're not screwed. There'll be somebody that'll have to come up and take over.
Lechler for coach.
You'd probably put Ted Tollner or maybe even Paul Hackett would have to come out of the booth and interim.
Here
like
we are
Uncle
pulling
Joe
people
Bugle. a few
out of-
years
Oh
ago.
my God.
Pulling people out of booths again is
Disgusting.
not really going to be the answer. And here we go again with just the idea that we can't have leadership. We can't have a coach that's going to do what needs to be done. We can't have a quarterback that's going to do what he needs to do. These are key positions that have yet to been filled.
We had it filled.
Yeah, but we trade
And
away.
We
We
didn't
get rid of
sign
them.
him. His name was Gruden.
Oh,
Damn it. Should have kept him. But That's just
well, and speaking about when you just said who would replace Cable if he got arrested, I mean, if it's not Ted Tollner and if he got suspended on top of that from the NFL, or if he's fired next week sometime, who would take over? In Gruden being traded, which was one of the first, I know it probably happened years ago in the 70s. I think I heard something or read something somewhere where there was some swap picks for a coach. But an outright trade for 4 picks for a coach was unprecedented in this modern era of pro football, and that's what happened with Chucky. Can you sign a coach off the free agent wire of coaches to take over if your coach isn't there or has to be suspended? Like, did we go out and go get Buddy Ryan and sign?
Why not?
Hey, it's possible, especially when it comes to the Raiders. Anything's possible.
That's right.
Al will come up with something, and
Can we trade players for a coach that's on somebody's staff right now?
Ricky Ricardo from Ricky Sports Bar said it best. If I can wait X amount of years for the Raiders to move back from LA to Oakland, I could wait for Gruden to come back. And I could wait for Gruden to come back.
Well, the scenario of Chucky coming back is one that we, we're talking about a few years ago here on Raider Fan Radio. I was going ballistic. Y'all all shot me down.
Well, I started to get on the bandwagon.
You started getting on the bandwagon. Shieldhead has bought it up more recently.
Been on the bandwagon.
Now, I know. And we've been on different sites, RaiderOutlaws.com, most prominently over the last few days. And that has been the discussion. And it's not coming now being facilitated by any discussion from anybody. It's coming from fans sitting back looking at what was the best scenario we've had.
The coach from taking a 4-12 team to bringing it to 8-8.
Right.
You tell me another coach has done that.
And the one thing that people that are against it or questioning it, I would say, is that Chucky has gotten older. Chucky is more mature. Also, if you look at, and if you happen to know your sports business of football, he's accomplished in that wave. Chucky was the poster boy for the new age of coach, for the Josh McDaniels. He's the Rosa Parks of those coaches, okay? The Josh McDaniels that you see now, the Kevin Healy's or whatever the guy's name is in Kansas City.
He was the poster boy.
He was the poster boy for now starting to integrate new coaches on. They started to push Parcells out, those old guys. And so he got his ring. So he has nothing to prove anymore.
Bull crap.
No, what is he? Well, what does he have to prove? We beat your team.
You want him back.
All right,
that
has nothing to do with it. The bottom line is sports business. I'm talking though now.
Okay,
the business end of it is that Chucky now has a commodity of acceptance in the National Football League. He's doing Monday Night Football.
Right.
All right. He's won his ring, and he's still
He gets
likable.
to wear the yellow jacket.
Right. He's still likable. He still has that boyish charm, but he's got the ring now. So now he doesn't have to prove anything anymore. So he has matured. So he can come back to Oakland now. And if Al was to do it, it's all on Al. And I love King Al. We all know that. But I have to start questioning Al myself. And Al, at the age that he is, honestly, has to swallow his pride.
That's it.
Stop being stubborn, as we know our elders can be, and make amends with Chucky. Give him a $3 million contract for 5 years, and also make him general manager and bring him back. Because Chucky's old enough now to handle decision-making now. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't need to work with anybody else. The only person he was able to work with was Bruce Allen. Unless you bring Bruce back, the whole team of them then. But we've got to get back to being a football operation.
You got things all backwards. You give Chucky $3 million for 5 years, but you give JaMarcus how many for what? Does that make any sense?
Well, good night, of course.
Done it.
What the fuck's that? I mean, come on now. You give Chucky $1 million a year, $2 million a year. He's already proven, and then get him back, right? You gotta come out with money now.
Yeah, but I'm saying $3 million a year for 5, though.
Break him off.
More? How much would you give?
How much would I give him?
In this economy.
This economy.
In the Raider economy, which we're the cheapest, not the cheapest team, which we are one of those, but we are right now, it just came out a few weeks ago, that we are the bottom of worth. We're only worth about $800 million.
Oh, that's too bad.
That's a bummer. I had to sign up for 5.
Anybody out there that wants to go halves with me? Anybody wants to go quarters with me?
That'd be the shit.
Man, to have the nation buy into the team.
They should have done that years ago, like the Packers did. But anyway,
exactly.
Back to your point, though.
Give him $10 million for 5 years.
I like that.
All right.
Okay.
Right? Give him $10 million for 5 years. You give him a couple million a year.
5 years,
You
though?
get back. Was that not enough?
Well, no, I'm just like, a lot of coaches don't make that kind of commitment anymore. 5 years is a long time.
But Chucky would, because you got to look at the fact that it's a second go-around. So there's an expectation that things will be different. And it all, again, would be predicated now.
Make him GM.
And make him general manager because he's older now. Again, he doesn't have to flex as much and poke his chest out to fight with Al. Al needs him more than Chucky needs the job. It's just about Al understanding that, look, dude, you're 80 years old. Stop fighting the system. We all have to give up that fight. You've made enough of a statement as an owner to always be the preeminent maverick owner of the National Football League.
And the most talked about.
Yeah, and your legacy is cemented.
Legend.
But let's try to go out with some dignity and winning. And Chucky right now has credibility in the National Football League where some of those calls now we're not going to get against us because he's likable. They like him. When he first came, he was a rebel, and the NFL was still trying to feel him out. But when they put him in Tampa, Tampa won. You ain't heard from the Glazer family or the Buccaneers since.
No.
Nothing.
They won, and then after that, they started losing everybody. I mean, think about it. Chucky wasn't having, like, he wasn't having Super Bowl seasons after that. He was struggling. So, I mean, if you want him to come back and to continue that struggle, I mean, I'm all with him cleaning house and starting all over again. And I know that he could put together talent enough to create the team.
And that's what he did when he came over here.
I could see that.
James Trapp was a big one for us. You're fired.
I was so happy when they finally got rid of James
What you do,
Trapp.
you line up all the guys and you go, okay, everybody that has a name of Stacy or Tracy, girl's name, you're fired. Number one. Okay, you're fired. Okay, that's a girl's name, you're fired.
You gotta go.
You gotta go from the giddy up.
You gotta come in here with the strength.
You gotta come in here with the
And then, you know,
mentality.
it's the sentiment for me and a lot of us Raider fans, because we're first generation Raider fans. That means when they moved and still here now. Not you guys that jumped on a few years ago.
How about this? You heard this before.
You know,
I used to be a Raider fan until they moved.
Those
guys
that are coming out dressed up like Monopoly pieces and
exactly.
you know, your Raider Q-tip and stupid shit like that.
Fabu.
But anyway, what you have now is that you've got that first generation like us that know what it is to have that sentimental feeling, that longing for the past. And it's not so much the past, it's just that we have a thread in our history of sentimental stories at times.
Yeah.
And this could be one of those sentimental stories that transcend baseball, football, basketball, all the sports, but particularly, you know, the NFL, where you have the guy that's the old codger and the guy that everybody says is the dictator and all that, relenting and getting some humbleness.
Like George Steinberg.
With a coach that has been humbled. Great.
How many of you guys know of a team that ever leave a city and come back to a city? Thank you very much. I take my patch off.
Raider Fan Radio TV, Raider Rob, the beautiful black hole Steph Shieldhead. Be right back at you on VJTVNetwork.com.
Music non-stop. Music non-stop.
I'm Malcolm Jamal Warner.
This is Kenya Moore.
Sean Patrick Thomas.
It's your boy Tyson Beckford, and you are watching VJTV.
VJTV.
And when I'm in the Bay Area, I watch VJTV.
VJTV, you heard? Aha! It's your friendly neighborhood Raider man, and you're watching RaiderFan TV on VJTVNetwork.com.
Raider Fan Radio TV back at you. It's Raider Rob, the beautiful black hole Steph, along with Shieldhead, and picking up in this segment on another episode of Raider Fan Radio TV. Again, disastrous loss at Giant Stadium over the weekend, Sunday, 44-7 in the Oakland Raiders. And one thing that stood out to me is the O-line. You know, and I've been watching the O-line, and we know we've had problems with the O-line. Gallery's been out with the broken leg. Cornell Green, collectively, along with Mario Henderson, Cornell, the veteran, still learning his ropes. Mario, the more younger and newer version of our attempt to find a left tackle, is still trying to find his way.
Yeah.
And, our center position, a little sketchy. You've got Pears out there, Eric Pears, who doesn't know what he's doing. Or do they? I mean, we started out this year pretty good on the run offense. We were able to really give some great protection over the first 2 games of the season. That was evident in the fact that we had the 57-yard bomb that got us back into the game against San Diego, and that we were able to move the ball against San Diego. And then our next game after that, we were also able to move the ball and didn't do too bad against the Broncos until it fell apart in the second quarter. But that being said, it also looks like to me old school open the gates on a cat, man. Honestly. At some point, it's just you cannot be that bad professionally, that you're not down blocking and you're not getting your hands up under pads. The 2 fundamentals of offensive linemen. And you can go pluck a kid out of Cal right now that would know those are the fundamentals.
Yeah.
So what is it with the O-line?
All of a sudden.
Because there are flashes of brilliance at times, but then it looks like where I'm just putting my hand and then I'm just, okay, yeah, I block.
So, I mean,
It's like Warren Sapp in reverse.
that may be a situation of just saying, if we don't have any kind of commitment from the top, then there's no way that we can really be down for this person. That may be what it is. I mean, since you're saying it's open the floodgates, and it looks like it. I've seen it in other instances when the quarterback hasn't been the favorite of the team, and that the quarterback bungles. Just like I was thinking about, not Steve McNair, rest in peace. I was thinking about Donovan McNabb in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, where he kind of just fell apart, and his offensive linemen started looking at him like, "What is your problem?" He got sick. He ended up throwing up. He was so just. He couldn't handle the pressure of where he was, and that's Donovan McNabb's story. But the offensive line started to kind of back up a little bit and give the defensive line a lot of room to be able to tag him. So maybe that's happening with JaMarcus, and maybe that motivation, getting hit enough. I don't know.
It's a subliminal.
Get hurt then.
Yeah, it's a subliminal part of football coaching, though, and you have that in the O-line. It's kind of like that code or the unspoken type thing. It's an unspoken code.
Yeah, the old boys club.
The old boys club type thing. And offensive linemen will do that.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, which doesn't compare to the NFL, of course, way back in the 80s, but we were I was a part of a team that did that. That we conspired to not block for the guy because we didn't want him in there. We wanted our buddy, and he was a better quarterback. And it did work.
Wow.
It did work. The team was no better or worse for it, at the end of the season. But it has been done. It's been done on a college level. It's been done on a pro level. Players will do that, and especially in this era of clickiness, everybody's clicking,
I think that they're frustrated enough. They could be frustrated enough to pull something like that, considering they're out there working hard and they are taking most of the blame. They took most of the blame last year, the year before that, but I thought that they did improve enough to at least block so that he could have time to throw downfield. Remember when my boy Andrew Walter was stuck behind the offensive line with Barry Sims and some other folks that couldn't count, and he just got pummeled.
Oh, that afternoon in Baltimore.
That was the Aaron Brooks line, right?
Right, or the Aaron Brooks line.
Exactly. It's like hockey. It's the Aaron Brooks line. They got the line.
But
I mean, when you look at our O-line, Shield, is it any fault or any wonder if you get to the point where you have a quarterback like JaMarcus, and we're going to get to JaMarcus folks tonight.
Do we have to?
Yes, we have to. For our buying public. That you do give up on a guy like that and just say...
Look at the 44, what was the score, 44-7?
Yes.
How many games have we won? One game?
Yes.
I don't even know. One game?
One.
Yeah, what's his numbers? Yeah, I'd give up on him too. Come on, they got 2 other guys on the bench that want to play. I think they want to play. Rikowski and who? Rick Meyer?
And Rick Meyer is also the worst.
It's not Rick Meyer.
Okay.
Well, you
Charlie
bit.
Fry.
Yeah, you got all the way back to 6 years ago.
Like, he might as well be there.
Yeah,
Might as
Charlie
well.
Fry.
And Charlie Fry is here because he beat us with Cleveland.
I got your back, Rick.
I mean,
You're the worst quarterback ever, but I got your back.
Really. Well, JaMarcus is about to go down.
He's about to go down.
He's one of the worst quarterbacks ever.
But yeah, you got to do something. Now, the coach ain't doing nothing. Look at the coach. The score was halftime was 41-7.
Man, at halftime.
At halftime.
That's big.
You don't make changes
big.
again? You don't make changes again? Do I got to go back to
Well, it was 28-7, but God bless you for taking
It might as well
poetic license there, Hollywood style. It was 28-7 at the end. They pulled Eli Manning at halftime. They pulled Eli Manning and put in David Carr, who broke. were our linebackers, man.
I mean,
David Carr bounced off
Rush for a
of
touchdown.
almost a reminiscent play of Eli a few years ago in the Super Bowl where he had to bounce off and throw that pass to David Tyree before he was swallowed up. Carr gets out of a sack. This is David Carr, who was once the #1 pick. He couldn't stick with an expansion franchise in Houston.
Right.
As the starting quarterback.
Right.
And as an unsung #1 pick out of
Bulldogs.
Fresno State. Thank you. And he's backing up in the Giants and gets a 19, 20, 25-yard touchdown run on us.
Yeah, scramble. How do you like that?
I mean, good night, man.
He's a white guy. White guys can't run or jump.
That one did. And so did Matt Castle last year. And before that, I mean, the list goes on. We're in trouble. And
Oh, really?
We have a gump.
we have
a gimp.
some extra baggage on our ship that just might have to go overboard.
And that extra baggage is number 2.
Do you think he would play this bad if he had that much money?
Yeah.
You think he would actually try?
You know what?
that?
I don't even think it's the money. JaMarcus
Really?
Russell, and, we might as well get to this because it's time, is a dummy. He's ja dummy. Okay, he's ja fatso and ja dummy.
And
he's
Ryan
fat
Leaf Russell.
and dumb. And I'm sorry to have to tell his mama this and his family.
She don't care.
Okay, but you've gotten paid, and because of your excessive Hollywood lifestyle that you've grasped and you come to the Bay Area, you are all about to run him right out of the NFL. You're all going to be back on the porch at Grandma's house in about 2 years, wondering what happened to Fatso.
Hey, wait. I
Okay?
got a bridge to sell you, though, first.
So I hope y'all have invested your money. I've been telling people since we drafted him, I have no confidence in this guy. It is evident on the field of play that he's not going to get better.
Yeah.
He's not, at least not in Oakland. His
that-
time in
that when we
Oakland
picked him.
is just about done.
Some of his comments in the newspaper, some of the quotes that some of the reporters were able to get from JaMarcus, asked him about locking in on receivers and trying to connect with them, but just locking in and missing the fact that you're getting blitzed. And he said that there were a lot of guys out there, and there were a lot of guys making plays. And
He wasn't one of them.
right. I mean, there are a
That's
lot
for
of
sure.
guys making plays. That's what happens in football.
Well, maybe he was talking.
Guys
Maybe he
make
was
plays.
complimenting the Giants, though.
He was, but that's
Maybe that's
bad
what he
too. You don't compliment the
they're a
other
great
team for
team.
beating your ass.
They're a great team, huh?
That's terrible. Yeah, you're a great team. Oh wow, they just played so well. Oh come on, dude. I mean, snap.
6 sacks. He was
Out
sacked
of
6
it.
times. He gave up 3 fumbles. The first 2 fumbles were just pitiful.
It wasn't 4, it was 3?
It was 3.
Oh, I must,
Three
I must have
fumbles.
dreamt the 4th one.
Yeah, you must have. The first one, I mean, with the whole, I mean,
Yeah,
he was
let me
barely
just-
tapped. Yeah, I mean, he act like somebody like he had his nails done.
Right,
And he couldn't get his nails broken or something like that.
JaMarcus, trust me, I understand, but that is not the time to be focused on.
And then the
your
second
management.
one, he tried to slide up in the pocket, and he just turned around and got rattled. And it was like, dude, you didn't see him coming.
Right, and he tripped him
Yeah, I
too.
remember that one.
I mean, it's not so
Yeah.
much that you don't see the pressure, but they say in
gotta
football,
feel
you
it.
should be, thank you.
You gotta feel that.
Right.
You should know, yeah,
Right.
you gotta feel it. Come
He
on.
didn't.
I mean, is he comatose out there?
He's really got to lay off of the partying on the weekend because that's interfering with his ability to be able to focus and concentrate. Some of the nice little drinks that he's been sipping on are causing him this is making him
He's
disabled.
lethargic.
Does he party? I like him. Does he party?
Yeah, but he doesn't party the way that we used
Okay,
to party.
well, I was gonna
He
say,
probably drops a lot of drinks, though, when he's in the
Wait,
club.
drink apple martinis?
I don't know what he's drinking.
Little sissy drinks like that?
Oh.
But, you know, the thing about JaMarcus is that there has not been and is not, a situation where you're learning the game. And more than how you're performing on the field, there are bad quarterbacks, and we've seen bad quarterbacks in the
Yeah.
Raider.
I've seen one right now.
Todd Marinovich, who has always gone down as kind of a scapegoat for the 90s era Raiders and the LA Raiders just before we came back, and kind of signified why we had to leave LA in a sense and how bad it had gotten. But Todd Marinovich actually, overall, was the last Raider quarterback that we had.
Todd
Okay?
Marinovich.
No one developed him.
Marinovich.
And whatever issue that him and Al had in his personal thing, too. If he'd have been developed and maybe someone had gotten to him as someone needed to get to JaMarcus last year and said, develop your game, kid, learn, get in there and get the film and all, and you will have all that you want.
And don't do heroin.
Yeah, Todd Marinovich, and also if Todd Marinovich might have been successful in LA, they might have still been there. He had all of that. He had the Hollywood flair and all that, but he was the last quarterback. Raider, what I mean, when you fans out there who know what I'm talking about, Raider. I mean, in your face, gritty, didn't give up. You know what I'm saying? And
And that's probably the main reason why most fans in the nation did not want JaMarcus Russell before the draft, because one of the complaints about JaMarcus was that he felt that he had already arrived, that he was there, and he didn't need to really work any harder than what it is that he, had accomplished at LSU. So if a guy is coming in with that, and that was the question that Raider Fan Radio asked Lane Kiffin right in his face, look, this dude feels like he's arrived. How can you work with him? He was not able to respond. He said, we don't listen to things like that. And JaMarcus didn't listen. His coaching staff didn't listen. Nobody's listening.
Now we're paying the price.
Exactly.
A big price.
A big price, because season tickets aren't cheap. Let me tell you that. I tell you, JaMarcus is buy everybody a season ticket. I'm telling him, help you out right here. I hate you right now. And if you're listening, just realize I hate you right now. But if you buy everybody their season ticket, like I said last week, you'll be all right.
Everybody be cheering for you.
Us three first, all right? We want box seats, okay? But the rest of them, you can buy their season ticket, and you'll be all right for a year, man. We won't talk shit about you for a whole year, okay?
The other scandal that's going on with JaMarcus is that Thursday he was asked directly at a press conference after practice, had he been fined for being overweight and for being late to meetings. He denied being late for meetings, but also denied that he had been fined. And that press conference, he turned to Mike Taylor, who's a great friend of the show and who was definitely one of the few football men over there and who understands the inner workings of the Raiders and wants the same thing the fans want, along with John Herrera and a few others over there that get it. They're just pigeonholed now, fighting another part of the administration that wants to do something else. That being said, your fat ass trying to throw Mike Taylor under the bus because he turns around in that press conference and tells the press, well, ask him. Well, ask him. Your fat ass is rich enough and big enough to sit up there and take the slings and arrows coming your way. Right, Mike Taylor is not a bulletproof vest for you. All right, you fat punk. That is you. You're supposed to take that heat. And that's what being part of being a leader is about. He's a sissy.
See?
He ought to do commercials for Kleenex.
Buy
all right?
tickets, you get this stuff, we'll stop.
I mean, honestly.
Or Tampax.
Okay, so don't try to throw our boy Mike Taylor under the bus and carry him down with you in your abyss of Black Ryan Leafdom. Okay, straight up.
Hey, but he did put a hit on that number, that DB though. And
you go with consolation prizes. This ain't the carnival. This ain't the carnival. You giving away. You didn't win the big teddy bear, but we'll give you a plastic frog.
Get the Cupid doll.
Hey, whatever it takes. You try to get something out of it.
But then he comes up, Dan Dierdorf interviews him CBS on Saturday, and he admits that he was fined for being fat.
We knew you were fat.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that.
There were people taking bets that you were 280.
Under an Elko was 2.
That was like at the Raider Nation celebration, I think.
I mean, 280.
Yeah.
In Elko, and some of the casinos up there.
And we mean fat with the F, not PHAT.
Even the Indian casinos in Oroville had bets on you.
Okay.
Oh, he's fat and it's 300 pounds.
Yeah, it was 280 was the bet, and you ended up being 275, which is, right about there. It's like, dude, you are the only quarterback, again, with hips and ass. Nobody else comes out the field looking like that.
He's got childbearing hips.
Yeah, he does.
As a quarterback.
Yeah, he's very, very big.
Just take Sam Williams' number and be a linebacker.
But that just shows his commitment in terms of commitment to excellence.
For Halloween, you ought to dress up as Rosie O'Donnell because you're about as fat as she is. Okay, you look just like. Put a Rosie O'Donnell mask on. It's going to be ugly this Sunday at the Oakland Coliseum. I aim to tell you, it's going to be ugly at the Oakland Coliseum. Pit Bulls are coming out, and they're coming to boo Michael Vick. They're coming to boo the Raiders. Okay, straight up. It's going down. RaiderFan Radio TV. Hey, we're going to be right back. We are, along with RaiderOutlaws.com, featuring some of their top posters, and they have a JaMarcus Russell regression thread going on there. So we got some comments from some of the great posters on RaiderOutlaws.com, and we'll be back with that segment here after this quick break on VJ TV Network, baby. Doing our Raider thing for you, keeping it live, because only the Raider Nation are the ones that are doing it for real. The team,
You ever thought about what you want to do with your life, son? I'm a watch boy. I got you.
Square ass Mo Jr. I think that you and Tyreek make a hot couple.
You don't want that square bear, just I don't want no silly eye candy. You're my son. I got your back.
Oakland is not just a playground for thugs to come with just drugs and prostitution and sideshows. There's more to it than that. It's a place where you can raise your family.
Fan Radio TV back with you. It's Raider Rob along with the beautiful Black Hole Steph to do our RaiderOutlaws.com segment. Real talk by real fans. So I'll say real fans, real talk on RaiderOutlaws.com. Make sure you log on Raider Nation because it's a great site. It's a site where, like it says, real talk by real fans. And you have just, that kind of in-your-face, tailgate, in the bar type of conversation that goes back and forth. Honesty. A lot of different, I guess you would call it sites within the site. Different pages that you can go on. The Steak and Patron, which talks about the tailgating and all that. The top 10 tailgates that's running right now on RaiderOutlaws.com.
So a lot of rooms to explore.
They have the one that I like, off topic. That's when we talk about stuff like we do here, social topics, things that are going on in the world, entertainment, stuff like that. So it's a very vast, page and site of all kind of different types of topics where you're talking to Raider fans. You know what I'm saying? And getting their opinions.
Getting the outlaw opinion.
The outlaw
about
opinions,
how we really
become an
feel.
outlaw, baby. Become an outlaw. Anyway, so each week here, RaiderFan Radio TV, featuring the RaiderOutlaws.com and their featured thread each week. And this featured thread this week I thought was very interesting since we've spent a good portion of time talking about JaMarcus Russell. And it is the most glaring, obvious issue, that the Raiders have now that is bringing our team down. And made our season at 1-4 just about over, for all means and purposes. And they've been running a JaMarcus Russell regression thread since training camp is posted by Bump. What's up, Bump? From Hell, Michigan. And I discovered Hell, Michigan years ago. Read an article.
That's the name of the town?
Yeah, Hell, Michigan. Actually, it is. And saw, a picture. I still have the picture too. I have to bring it in one day. I wanted to get a poster made of a guy on a phone in the winter in Hell, Michigan, talking on a payphone. And the caption said "Hell freezes over," and it's a true town up in Michigan, and it's one of the coolest named places on earth. And
other than Weed, California.
And it's a place that I've always wanted to, before I die, go experience Halloween because I love Halloween. I mean, not so much all the craziness that goes on with it, but just the whole thing, dress up and spooky stuff and all that. But I'm infatuated with that. I want to go to Hell, Michigan. You know what I'm saying? And Rock's handing me things that I can't read. Just tell me what you want me to do. It's live TV. What do you want me to do? Huh? Turn on my phone. Oh, it's still part. It's just like the radio show, man. We got off camera.
Right.
The great James Rockefeller of VJ TV. I can't read that. I have my glasses on. Oh, stop it. That's James Rockefeller, our CEO, off camera. I'm still in that radio mode, for years.
Just tell me.
Yeah, but
we are still radio,
we're
but we're
still
doing
radio,
TV.
but we're radio TV.
That's right.
Anyway, so I've always wanted to go to Hell, Michigan. Anyway, Bump is up there, diehard Raider fan.
What's up, Bump?
And Bump came up with this thread. He's been running JaMarcus Russell regression thing. Some of the comments for some of the great posters, the top posters on RaiderOutlaws.com. El Barraco Rialto, he was on last week.
El Barraco.
He believes 1-5 is just automatic.
Okay.
Write it down. 1-5. I mean, honestly.
1-5 is over.
Do you see that, though?
I
really
do.
Don't. I think we can win a few more games. I think there are games. I really don't think the season's over. I mean, 1-4. I mean, the only glaring thing is JaMarcus. I mean, my whole thing would be give Grabowski a chance. And really, a Cable being an offensive line coach, whether he's around or not, after this week or the next 2 weeks, or if he is going to play out the whole season. You got to get there and get in those guys' heads and tell them, look, we got to block. We've got to down block, and we got to be committed to it. And I think these guys would rally around maybe a new guy, because they're not rallying around JaMarcus. I mean, offensive linemen, if we de facto in society call O-linemen, or we call athletes in general jocks, then we call all linemen like the dumbest of the jocks.
Right.
Then they have to be motivated, I guess, and I'm not knocking any of you guys, maybe Paul McQuiston. But I mean, honestly, they have to be motivated. They need leadership. It's a a chain of command type thing in the NFL where, you know, the quarterback is the leader.
Right.
They've learned that since high school. I don't get the yin yang. He does.
The leadership, yes, but it's also a matter of having linemen be able to understand offenses.
Right.
The way that these offenses are set up now, they're really just it's almost like rocket science instead of just straight football. So they have to be able to break all of that down. And if they are not able to, maybe because there isn't much of a plan really in place with the Raiders, maybe they're trying to figure out, okay, what is it that you want me to do from week to week?
But can you see 1 and 5 like El Baracco brings up here?
I can see 1 and 5 because when is it enough? I mean, we've only scored 29 points in the last how many games? 7 games? That's ridiculous. We can't win like that. And the Raider fans, Raider Nation are accustomed to winning. That's
right.
what we're about. We win,
right.
we win, we win, we win. So the fact that this team continues to lose
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah. So I'm with El Baracco. It's time to do something drastic because obviously we're dangerously close to the edge.
RaiderFan Radio TV with you. It's the RaiderOutlaws.com a thread special here, and we're featuring the thread from Bump, JaMarcus Russell regression. Let's talk about Buck Wild 187. He says he hopes no one shows up Sunday. Suggests if Philly is up 21-0 at half, that we kick rocks, that the Raider Nation just walk out of the stadium.
Wow.
Now, you've had these type of demonstrations before. Demonstrations don't really work well in Oakland, as I posted earlier today on some sites. We'd rather go in the stadium, as I'm planning myself Sunday, and some of us, no. We'd rather do it in your face. That's Oakland. I mean, we're not going to protest outside and not come to the game. We bought the tickets. We're going to go in, but you're going to hear it once we get in. And so... I would tell a lot of those people that are trying to do different type of campaigns. There's a guy that's trying to do a different campaign where he wanted to get a billboard or something put up or a banner off of the freeway or something that he thought Al would see. And it's like Al rolls in 11:30. He's in a town car. He's not even paying attention.
But Al does see, like the ad that was in the newspaper to get rid of Jeff Garcia. Al did see that. And shortly afterwards, he was gone. So maybe an ad in the newspaper, fans, it's time to get together and put in your chips and let it be known exactly how we feel about this losing team.
Would you walk?
We're not going to accept it.
I've never walked out of a Raider game. I've been escorted out and dismissed, but I've never voluntarily left a Raider game.
I didn't voluntarily leave a Raider game, but I did hang out in that wonderful pub that we have downstairs.
Oh, the pub, the Irish pub. I love the Irish pub.
The pub is where it's at.
Yep.
Whenever trying to deal with the tough loss. This one lady in there pours a mean margarita, man.
Does. And a great JD on the rocks.
Okay.
Nemesis, he says he thinks someone should harpoon the whale.
Harpoon me first. I love it.
Nemesis, if you have maybe $500-600 bail money, because my bail would probably be 6 G's, I would do it. But what do you suggest you harpooning with? I mean,
we'll leave that up to Shieldhead to come up with a response.
Paperclip his ass or something.
Okay.
With a rubber band, just from the third deck. Pink. Devil Spawn says, yes, Russell needs help, but he isn't helping himself. And that's something that we have been arguing about, is the fact that he's not helping himself. No. And for me, it's the thing, the educational standpoint of pro football, where, and I'm not going to just run on my soapbox again, but you got to get in the film room. You got to study video.
You have to.
You've got to want to be out there. You got to take extra snaps after practice.
Right.
And there has to be something about your character
that
speaks to you wanting to get better for yourself. Matt Ryan's done it. Joe Flacco, he kept his team in the game yesterday. Carson Palmer has developed greatly when they thought he might have been done. Romo, not so well down in Dallas. But there's another guy that's falling in that same trap with Russell. I don't think Romo is down there in Dallas really learning the X's and O's of football, really taking it seriously, really understanding little nuances that you have to read and react, and be able to think on your feet. He's a mobile quarterback.
He's mobile and he has touch.
But I think ordaining him this great Dallas quarterback in the lineage of a Staubach and a Troy Aikman and even Danny White was a little premature. Craig Morton and Don Meredith could be thrown in there too as great Dallas Cowboy quarterback. So anyway, the quarterback issues all over the place. One of the biggest frauds in the NFL is Tom Brady. You got these Brady rules now where, I love the Baltimore Ravens last week for coming out about sissified ass shit with him where you can't touch him. You know what I'm saying? And if you just tap him, It's a 15-yard penalty.
They have been getting away. That offensive line for Tom
Holding,
Brady
man.
has been getting away with
For
holding
years.
for 7 years
The
now.
NFL, because that's what keeps him. Because
7 years.
They know if he is pressured, a la
He's
the
done.
Tuck game, as much as the Tuck game took them to their dynasty or whatever the frig you want to call it, it also exposed the fact that if you pressure Tom Brady and put a hat on his ass, it's the same.
It's a wrap.
And if you put your DBs and nickel and if Tony Romo sees more than 4 DBs out there, he gets confused. And if he sees linebackers dropping into coverage, he gets confused. He can't read the double team. And then with JaMarcus Russell, he couldn't read Dr. Seuss Goes to Africa.
Just can't read. I mean,
it's a fucking idiot. I hate him.
Well, you have to keep breathing through it. I mean, we've got several games that we're going to be dealing with JaMarcus Russell, and that's a lot of booing to get ready for week after week. I don't know, how much longer the nation is going to take.
I wish a couple of drunk elves would catch him one night on Foothill and drag him into an alley and do unspeakable things to his body.
He needs unspeakable. Maybe that's it. But he probably has some unspeakable things done after the games. He tends to have fun at nice,
trick or treat, fat ass
places.
Anyway, and we'll end with Sal Shield Travis on the RaiderOutlaws.com thread of JaMarcus Russell's regression.
Shield.
One of our hometown boys. He says Russell is taking shots of ranch dressing. That's what's wrong with him.
Wow.
That's what he orders when he goes to Pink Diamonds. Ranch dressing. Give me 2 shots of ranch dressing there, bucko.
If you remember Shaquille O'Neal, when he decided he wanted to get fat and lazy, pretty much people didn't want anything to do with him. And Shaq came in with promise. I mean, everybody knew what Shaq could do. But Shaq, for a while, was eating a lot of nachos and kicking it. And the same thing happened to him in terms of people going after him, saying Shaq's lazy, he's not doing what he could, he's fat. Well, he lost weight. He came back. He lost that 40 pounds. He came back slim and ready to move and took over and started to dominate again. That's what JaMarcus Russell has to do. But like I said before, he doesn't have that get up and go in the beginning. Just at the beginning of his career, he felt like he had made it. And that's the kids of this era. They've made it. There's nothing really that you can teach them. They know it. They're eating. They're paid. What's the problem? That's JaMarcus Russell. So
Raider Fan Radio TV with you. The beautiful black hole Steph. Raider Rob with you. Take a slight break here. VJTV.com. DJTVNetwork.com. Be right back with you. Shieldhead will be back in, taking you up to the top of the hour. And you've said it perfectly. You said it perfectly. RaiderOutlaws.com. Log on, and we
Raider
appreciate
Outlaws.
all of you out there. Bump, thanks for that. The JaMarcus Russell regression thread. And each week we'll be featuring some of the top posters from the top site in the Raider Nation. The number one, preeminent one.
For chat, it's
definitely
Raider Outlaws.
RaiderOutlaws.com. Become an outlaw. Real talk with real Raider fans. We'll be right back on VJTV Network.
VJTV's website has a lot of interesting features, including event coverage, celebrity photos, and pictures of your hot VJs, including me, Miss Miko. So go to VJTVNetwork.com. You can join our email group, which sets you up with our contests, prizes, and giveaways, including cash. So go to VJTVNetwork.com. And remember, VJTV, the visual radio network, is music non-stop.
I ain't hiding in no alley. This is Oaktown Raider Bob, representing RaiderFan Radio TV. And watch us live on VJTV Network.
RaiderFan Radio TV back with you, man. Taking you up to the top of the hour. It's Raider Rob, the beautiful black hole Steph, along with Shieldhead, the original Shieldhead. And getting ready for Sunday. Make sure you're there early because it's going to be a real interesting place to be, the Oakland Coliseum, this Sunday, October 18th, the Oakland Raiders and the Philadelphia Eagles. Looking forward to seeing Michael Vick. Donovan McNabb is back. They had a big blowout against
Plus, you want to have fun, so you got to get there early for the tailgate.
You want to go to Raiderville.
Fun, right?
Got to get to Raiderville early, baby. Those hot dogs don't last long. Anyway, but we'll be shooting at the South Shield tailgate in the South parking lot on the right-hand side off of 880. Make sure you come through and check us out if you want to. And South Shield Travis, South Shield Jess, Carol, Carrie, Bobby, Remy, all of them. They'll all be out
Ronnie,
there. RaiderHead.
Ricky and Mike.
Yeah.
If I love the girl, who cares who you like? Yeah.
So come see us next Sunday. The VJ TV crew, a bunch of those guys will be running around, and we'll be having a great time talking about our Oakland Raiders, getting prepared for the game, give you a little taste of the atmosphere for all of you throughout the nation that don't get to come to the games, get to see how it's really like out there, particularly when we're doing this bad. It's a whole different atmosphere. Yeah. You might even see somebody get slugged. I just hope it ain't me. You might see me slug somebody too, so it'll be worth tuning in next Tuesday.
It'll be the height of festivity.
Yes, it will. The height of festivity.
Anyway, might win.
That's what's going on. Raiders.com if you want to get tickets. Plenty of good seats available. I think even the Seagulls are flying around selling tickets. And so I'm trying to sit in the pit bull section, though. I want to sit with the dogs.
You want to sit with the dogs? Dogs
yes.
that need masters?
They should be They shouldn't let dogs come to the game. Yeah. Had a section blocked off so all the people that want to protest, because you know this is Northern California, will protest a supermarket closing. Okay.
For the blind people. If you have a blind section, then you have to have the section with the
we do have a blind section. Why would you say something like that? We do have a disabled section.
Do you have a blind section?
There's like 7 of them all the way around the stadium.
Do you have a blind section to watch the game?
No.
Because you need to be blind to enjoy the game. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, bada bing.
Dear God, I only know this guy on Tuesdays. Anyway.
And if you're going to strike one of my eyes, make sure it's my right eye so my eye patch fits.
Always talk about the Raiders, man, and just, you need something to make you, happy and brighten up a little bit. And you know what brightened me up? I'm looking at some of the news that's going on around the world and different things that happen in pop culture. This is great, man. November issue of Playboy. You heard about this? Marge Simpson.
Oh, sexy.
Is going OJ's third cousin removed. No, but Marge Simpson is going to be the cover girl of November Playboy, and yes.
She's got blue bush.
We will see if the carpets match drapes.
Yes.
For all of us that grew up all the way back to the Tracy Ullman show with the Simpsons, man, I like. That's the type of crap I'm talking about. That's stuff that's back to the 70s and 80s. When you're just outside the box, being free, being quirky, doing something different. She is a cartoon icon.
That might be the biggest selling Playboy, huh?
It might be.
It might. And I haven't bought a Playboy since the Faye Resnick issue.
Has there ever been a cartoon character like that?
No, never.
No Jessica Rabbit?
No,
huh?
No.
Wow.
That's going to be tight.
See, that's who everybody really wants to see right there.
I'd like to see her in OUI or Beaver magazine or something. I don't want to see her in Playboy all. Jessica Rabbit.
Leg all up on the table.
Marge has always been like kind of, she and Homie, they take care of business when need be.
She's sexy. She's a middle-aged, sexy, soccer
mom
type.
Like gargling with freaking glass, but other than that, you know what I mean?
Marge is tight.
And if you really want to see some real Marge Simpson action, make sure you go to cartoongonzo.com. All right, because I'm here to declare that cartoon porn is...
You'll never be the same again, folks.
Don't let the kids see it because they won't ever be the same.
Until you've seen Wilma.
Imagery.
Until you've seen Wilma Flintstone bent over the sink there and at the old house.
You haven't lived.
You haven't lived. I'm telling you. There's something about Wilma, boy. Anyway.
Wilma!
So I'm looking forward to that, the November issue of that. Ocho Cinco. We're back to football real quick. Chad Johnson, great game yesterday. Man, did you see the hit? Ray Lewis.
That was nice.
Put one of the greatest hits in professional football on Ocho Cinco on the last drive. The Bengals, though, playing tough, won the game at the end. Second week in a row that Baltimore's come up short at the end in a close closing game. But he hit Ocho Cinco. Led with the shoulder, popped him under the chin, right up under there, Shield, and the whole helmet flipped back. And I mean, he went from bingo to kitty cat real quick.
It was refreshing.
But he bounced back up, tried to do his tough man act. But I mean, Ray, he hit him so solid that when Ray landed on the ground, it was like some Matrix shit, where he didn't even move. You know what I'm saying? He just bam, hit him and landed perfect.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, some straight Justice League shit. You know what I'm saying? Now Superman would land real.
Yeah.
But in that game, in addition to it being thrilling and all that, Carson Palmer, like I said, is back, doing a great job. And looking at Cincinnati and also looking at the Giants. They both are the type of teams that you would want the Raiders to be. They have the type of components where they're spreading out the receivers when it comes to Cincinnati. They're hitting the tight end underneath. Cedric Benson, you know, who was the equivalent of a Michael Bush or Derek McFadden, is now coming to his own after getting out of Chicago. Right. And then you look at the Giants, the way that they whooped our ass. How they stretched the field. Who said the vertical game can't work? Steve Smith. I mean, they were whooping our ass.
How many running backs at the same time, folks?
Brandon Jacobs is 2 running backs by himself, but yeah.
But, you know, the point that
Bradshaw.
I was told at one of the press conferences was that there was no way that we can have more than one back on the field because that would be confusing.
Well, how stupid was that when we once had the committee with Tyrone Whitley, Charlie Gardner?
So know your own history.
Yes, know your own history or be fooled by the new history. So anyway, Ocho Cinco also this year has on the market, and I love him for this. You know, he was Chad Johnson before he changed his name. He now has on the market, because I wished he'd have been a Raider, man. I love Ocho Cinco. Ocho Cinco condoms.
Get the out of here.
That's what, and this is the tagline for his Ocho Cinco condoms. Catches anything your Johnson shoots.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is good. That's nice.
So go out and get you some Ocho Cinco.
Are they like Bengal striped?
I don't know if they are.
Probably not. You know how stodgy the NFL is.
No, this is his own thing that he's
I
doing.
know, but still.
You know, these players got their own little companies and stuff. That's what he went into.
That'd be funny. Yeah, Bengal striped.
That would be cool. That would
be funny.
Glow in the dark Bengal stripe.
I mean,
I see what you're saying. The NFL tripping off him using the
NFL trips off of anything. You know, when it comes to you, you look disgusted.
I do, man. I'm sick of the NFL. But anyway, Ocho Cinco condoms catches anything your Johnson shoots.
Anything your Johnson shoots.
Yeah, I love him for
stores or it's like online only?
You have to go on his website. I'm sure in the Cincinnati area they're probably selling in stores. I hope he worked a deal where he got them in stores.
The condom business is lucrative. As somebody that's a sex educator on the side, this is like, it's lubricated. That's nice. It's see, I can't even lubrication. I can't even think when you say that because that's a good word.
Is that a monkey in your ear?
No.
Anyway, before we get out of here, speaking of shooting, our country shot the moon last week. Shot 2 rockets at the moon on Friday.
Somebody needs to stop NASA right now.
Okay.
Shot 2 rockets at the moon.
Shot 2 rockets at the moon looking for water. Yes, that was the reason why. I would like to say I hope a lot of you dumb fucks are preparing to leave and go live on the moon.
This Earth is going to shake us off like George Carlin said, like a bad case of fleas. You guys.
No, you know what? I wish somebody to shot back.
Yeah, for
you
real.
You keep on messing with the moon people.
Shooting everything.
You know what I'm saying? Now, what would have happened if somebody would have shot back?
Yeah.
If we don't know that for 3,000 years there's been moon people up there minding their damn business and they just hid that day when Neil Armstrong and them got there.
That's our light by night. What are you doing?
Really?
Just remember.
Well, there were reporters on the internet, and big ups to the mainstream media. I'm starting now to really give a lot of pub to internet reporters, and they were calling them reporters that reported in who had seen it on the internet.
That would be us.
And reported that would be us, and saying that it was unspectacular. And that it didn't have nearly the bang or boom that everybody thought it was going to have when they did it. But just a stupid premise all in all. A lot of the space astrologers and scientists are saying, what the fuck was that?
Whose idea was
scientists, NASA, too? There's no life on other planets because God created the universe. Remember that. There's one God, and his name is not freaking Allah. Okay? So remember that.
Well...
And there's no water on the moon.
I am truly disturbed.
There's no water there either.
That they did that. I mean, stop attacking everything. Really.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean,
you can't bomb everything.
And bring back Jon Gruden.
I'm going to tell you like this. You keep on attacking things in other places in space, somebody going to roll their ass up here and invade us and whoop our ass. All right?
There's no
You better leave space alone because you're right. Like you said, you're touching God there.
You're messing with God, though.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for us to get out of here. We're going to be officially trying to get Chucky back.
That's right. But the new song is My Johnny Lies Over the Ocean.
We're getting out of here with Shieldhead.
My Johnny lies over the sea.
And his new song about Jon Gruden.
My Johnny lies across the nation. But bring back old Gruden to me. Bring back Jon Gruden to me. Bring back Jon Gruden to me. Go Raiders.
Can't believe I'm singing
La
that.
la la la. You know you all want to sing it too. Even all you haters out there, you can't fight the funk.
No.
Don't believe the hype. It's a sequel.
See you next Tuesday on RaiderFan Radio TV.
Go Raiders.
VJTVnetwork.com.
Beat the Eagles. Raiders!
The views and opinions of RaiderFanRadio.Vegas, RaiderFanRadio.com, and RaiderFan Radio Media are not the views and opinions of the Las Vegas Raiders, Al Davis Football, Inc., or the National Football League. RaiderFanRadio.Vegas is an independent media source.